What's up there, peeps? I am back for another video. This one, today we're taking a little bit of a break from horror movies. I am gonna be ranking kind of basically the final part of my Jurassic franchise. Is I'm gonna finally rank the films. There's only 5 of them, so this video probably won't be too long. But I'll try to spend a little bit of time on them. But like I said, this franchise is one I think overall is pretty good. Like I think three is the only one I flat out will say is terrible. I mean, three is bad, but I can even then it's still watchable, and it didn't destroy a franchise. And even for people who didn't necessarily like Fallen Kingdom, I'm at least noticing. Oh, you know what? I'm still down for Jurassic World 3. Like even if they didn't necessarily like Fallen Kingdom, but for myself, FK had to admit that. I'm gonna take a quick hit and then we'll start. All right. Number 5 and pretty much last place, obviously, is Jurassic Park 3. And I'm gonna admit, like I said in my original video, when I was a kid, I despised this movie. Like this is one, it was almost Last Jedi level for me as a kid. Obviously, I don't think like that now. I rewatched it. It's bad, but it's in a sense. If you didn't call it Jurassic Park, it could be an okay, you know, dinosaur movie. You know, but like I said, the characters are terrible, and obviously it's not just the T Rex scene. It's just the characters aren't good, but you have some good things in there. Like I think the Spino's cool. The the scenes with the pterosaurs were awesome in my opinion. That's the best scene in the whole movie was the birdcage scene. But everything else, just like I said, Sam Neill felt like he was phoning it in. Uh, Amanda and Paul Kirby were annoying as fuck. Fuck Billy. Like all the characters were just not likable. I don't know. And then, like I said, some of the CGI didn't look that great. Um, but like I said, I think there's good things in there, and it just for me too. The problem was this was the last Jurassic Park movie up until Jurassic World, so this was a 14 years. Jurassic Park 3 was the last one, and it just left a bad taste in my mouth. That's one reason I was very adamant about a fourth because I'm like, we need to redeem this. I don't want Jurassic Park 3 to be like the last one, but thankfully it wasn't. So now, I mean, it's still bad, but it's watchable. So that's number 4. I mean, that's number 5. Number 4 is Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I overall am more positive. In my opinion, has the best opening in the franchise, but I agree with some of the criticisms. I also have my own. I don't like I said. I don't really like that all the people who died were the hunters or the bad guys. It just if like when I really and I didn't notice that until really recently. And in my opinion, it just comes off as the people putting their politics in there because they don't like hunters. So hunters bad. So therefore they should be the only ones who die. It's weak to me because to me these are dinosaurs. Dinosaurs don't look at humans as good or evil. They don't care if you're a hunter versus. That's why Eddie Carr, if you look at my list of favorite deaths in the franchise, he's number one, and I like Zara's. And then, as in one I fucking didn't mention, I you're gonna probably slap myself for, was Robert Muldoon. Robert Muldoon was a good dude, and he just sadly went out like that. And it's like, these are animals. They don't look at human beings like, it's just, but like I said, that's a minor thing. But I think the story is pretty muddled at points, but I think it's watchable. And like I said, has the best opening in the franchise, and I think certain shots in it look good. And I also think, like I said, the little girl got a little bit. She is one part I could agree with some critics. She didn't bother me specifically as much, but I could see like you could just cut her out. I could see why she got a little bit annoying. But overall, Like I said, I still like it. And like I said, from here on out, you're not going to hear me really ranting and say that this is bad. I pretty much, the rest of the films are good. Just varying degrees. So Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom's pretty good, but it's not obviously top three. And now we're on the top three. Number three is Jurassic World. As much as I love it, and honestly, when I first saw Fallen Kingdom, it was switched, and it was partially because I'm a dino guy. Jurassic World FK had so much more dinosaurs, but in my opinion, I had to agree Jurassic World's a better story. Owen was a great character. It was a nice return to the franchise. Like I said, I have my little gripes. Like I think, like I remember at the time too. I was like, I really do wish there was more dinos in the film. I do think there wasn't as much. I also wish it was longer. I kind of went like 2 hours and 4 minutes. I feel like you could have put more in there. But other than that's my only little gripes there. The rest of the film's great. I think Claire was a good character. Her growth in that was pretty good. You got some solid kills. It was like I think I needed it at the time, and because how disappointing JB3 was, and also I'll bring up really quickly Star Wars, how bad TFA was. Just Jurassic World, like this is how you bring a franchise back. You know, you don't no disrespecting of even though there's no legacy characters in the film specifically, I do think it's like it treated like the lore at least good. It didn't change anything. It didn't go too far and like, oh, let's just do a retread of Jurassic Park 1. I've heard that criticism. I don't agree with it. I think the only similarities is it's on Nublar. That's it. Like Owen is not a. I don't feel like he's just Alan Grant or an Ian Malcolm retread. He actually feels like his own character. You know. Claire didn't feel like Ellie Sattler or any of the other women. That's the one thing. This film tried to tell its own story. Yeah, you had a little bit of nostalgia, especially with the little callbacks to the Jeep and the part where they were on the old part of the island, but that was it. Yeah, this is my third favorite in the franchise. This is how many I saw this film 7 or 8 times in the theater that summer when it came out. That's how much I loved it. I was like, that that's how you do a comeback, or at least an example. Number two, now the top two, it's gonna pretty much be obvious from here. Lost World. Lost World to me is one of my favorite sequels, and I honestly think some of the hate it gets is very unfair. I've even heard people try to say JP3 was better. You're fucking tripping. Like, I get people, the San Diego sequence, there are some parts, it is very sudden, but I really love it because the tone, in my opinion, it was such a nice switch up from the tone. Because, the first one is very much more about the awe of the dinosaur. And I feel like you still have that in a Lost World. But Lost World's like, you know what, we're going to up the violence, though. Eddie Carr's death, like, I mean, I said it in my top 5 kills. His death's fucked up, and you feel so bad for him. But Ian Malcolm, I like his change in character. He's a lot more serious because I think he realized the dangerousness of the island. Sarah Harding could have been a little bit better, but she was serviceable for the film, though. I mean, do I get the complaint? Oh, stupid mistakes. I should have probably mentioned that in Fallen Kingdom too. I always chalk it up to all these films. Have always kind of had that, though. I mean, even the first one with Lex with the light, it's there's always been kind of like there's always been stupid characters in Jurassic Park. That's always gonna be a thing. I just chalk it up. That's just part of it. But you know the yeah, the scene with Kelly with the kicking the raptor. If she had just kicked the raptor, but the fucking gymnastic part, her swinging around was a little bit much. But that final act is so good. And Peter Ludlow's an okay bad guy. Oh, he's not really a bad guy. He's like kind of like an antagonist, but not really. Like, cause he wasn't trying to fuck with like Ian Malcolm and shit. But him bringing the island. That's one thing I love about the San Diego sequence is it shows the world what InGen was up to. Because If you remember in the first one, it was only a certain amount of people who saw what happened at Jurassic Park. This, the world saw. That's why I love it. It's an evolution of the story, in my opinion. So I love Lost World. I love the way it's shot. I love that it's on an island where there's no cages. It actually feels like, okay, we're actually on a dino island now. You know, the score is such a. I mean, as much I would still love the original score. Don't get me wrong, but TLW had such a good score. The grittiness, like I said, I could say a lot of praise about this one. Obviously, number one is the original. I don't think anything will top the original Jurassic Park. This film was a lightning in a bottle, and I think the sequels did good enough on their own. I think TLW is the only one because that was directed by Spielberg. But the magic of the first movie. Remember, this is my first movie. Like, this is the movie that got me into movies. And this is my favorite movie of all time. Like, I understand there's other movies you could probably say story wise might actually be better, but just I remember being a kid and just seeing like the Brachiosaurus or the Rex breakout scene, just any of those scenes. Ian, you get the characters like Ian Malcolm, you know, who felt was like a different character. Alan Grant, like I loved all the characters. I even think the kid characters were pretty good. Yeah, did Lex fuck up with the light, but it's like you also don't like. I also in a part of me is not like I don't want to. I want to fucking curse her out because there's some movies, you know, especially like you know me, I'm a slasher fan. So when characters do something stupid, I always like curse them out. But it's like I can't curse her out, man. It's just a little mistake, and man, just the animatronics, the the score, Hammond's performance, and it was cool to see Hammond again in Lost World. And yeah, this is a film to me that cannot be topped. And we'll see where Dominion will come in the ranking. I don't think it will top the first two though. It's gonna be hard because Lost those films like I grew up with. So, but and that no, that's the other thing. The ending of Jurassic Park and with the Rex. Oh my god, I love that. And the Raptors were good in it. I think I can agree with some people that the Raptors were probably the best in this film. Yeah, I would have to agree. The Raptors were just straight up scary. Like when they opened the door, it just yeah, man. So that's my Jurassic ranking. I told you this video probably wasn't gonna be too long because there's only 5 movies. My next video tomorrow will be, if not tomorrow, Saturday will be part 8. We're gonna be reviewing Friday part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. So all right, guys. So that was my Jurassic ranking. I would like to see some of your guys' rankings in the comments if you comment. But other than that, guys, I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.